Hello folks, and you're very welcome along to another video from Gundog and Fly. Tá míle fáilte roimh ríist. And today I'm going to be tying what's probably, in my opinion, the best dry fly ever invented. And if you fish for educated trout, which I do quite a bit, I actually prefer to fish for educated trout. They're more of a challenge, if you like, and generally speaking they're of the larger variety. So assuming of course that you've got all your ducks in a row and that you've got into a position on an educated trout where you can make that decisive cast, you're going to need a fly that's going to convince that trout that it's a good idea to come up and take it. And this fly I have found to be just the answer for that particular scenario. So if you're a fly tyer, it's not that difficult to tie. There are a couple of little tricky bits, but it's not outrageously difficult. If you're not a fly tyer, these flies are available from yours truly. I tie many thousands of flies throughout every season, and this would be one of my biggest sellers. So stay tuned if you're a fly tyer. Maybe if you're not a fly tyer, you can probably tune out at this point, unless you're considering maybe taking up fly tying, which I would recommend to any fly fisher. So anyway, this is the fly I'm going to tie. It's called a sparkle dun. Now, to tie this fly you need the following. I'm going to tie this in a size 16, and these are size 16 partridge hooks. Always a good idea to use good quality hooks. I know this to my cost because I have tied flies on hooks that weren't at the optimum quality and they failed at the critical moment. So it's always a good idea to use good quality hooks. So this is just a standard dry fly hook in a size 16. These are partridge. Okay. Now, the tying thread, and this is very important. This is Semperfli Nano Silk in 12/0. You're going to need this type of thread, this exact thread, or something equally as strong. You need very strong thread to tie this particular fly, and the reason for that will be apparent as I tie it. Okay, Antron. This is just grey Antron. It comes in a variety of colours. You can get it from most fly shops or anyone who sells fly tying equipment. Now, the deer hair. Now, this is something I'm going to talk a little bit about right now, and then a bit more about as I tie the fly. To get the proper type deer hair to tie this particular fly isn't easy. I buy deer hair in, whenever I see deer hair, if I go to buy deer hair, say for instance in a tackle shop or whatever the case may be, I will generally buy a half dozen packets, a variety of different packs, in the hope that I will get something that will work for tying the sparkle dun. Now, as you can see on the back of this, I have just written SP on it, which denotes it as suitable for tying the sparkle dun. This little patch here is ideal. It's just the right type deer hair. There's a particular time of the year when the deer produces the right type of hair to tie this fly, and it comes from a particular part of the body at a particular time of the year. It's the very small area on the body of the actual deer itself that produces the right type. Now, you can struggle with other stuff, but the only thing I can say to you about it is try and get a few different patches and try them out until I'll explain it as I tie the fly. This is a hair stacker, so that's going to be useful as well. Okay, so we're going to get to it. Okay, we'll make a start. I can tie this in a variety of sizes. I find the most useful size to be size 16. Now, I do tie it in smaller sizes for later on in the season during the summer into size 18 and sometimes even 20, but 16 is a good overall size for this fly. Now generally I tie this fly using my magnifier, so I don't have to use my magnifier right now, so I'm finding it a little more difficult to see what I'm doing, but hopefully I'll manage it. Right, you saw what I done there. I just brought the thread down along and then back up, and I'm back roughly a third of the way from the eye of the hook. Now, my deer hair, I'm going to cut out a little piece here. Now, experience will teach you how much to cut out, but as a general guideline, I try to cut out a piece that's roughly the diameter of a diary pencil. If you know what a diary pencil is, you could, years ago, I don't know whether they're most likely still available, a little pencil that came with a diary, and that's the best way I can kind of describe the amount of deer hair. Now I've put it into the hair stacker, tap it on the table here until it's ready like that. And now that's what you're looking for. This is going to be your wing. Now this can be one of the more difficult parts of the fly. A lot of people have difficulty with deer hair. I've been doing it a long time, so I don't have that difficulty, but for people starting out it can be quite a difficult thing to get hold of, because I now have to swap this from this hand to this hand, and it takes quite a few moves to get it correct now. So now I'm going to offer it up to the hook like that, and I'm going to go around it twice without applying any pressure. Now I apply the pressure. Now the pressure, again, experience will teach you how much pressure. So that's formed the wing. So now every turn I make is moving in that direction consecutively, and I'm gradually increasing the pressure as I go back along, and that will have the effect of cutting the deer hair. Now again, practice will get you good at this like anything. So I'm hoping that the thread will now cut the deer hair. I'm applying a lot of pressure here now as I go back along. There you go. And I cut the deer hair off, okay? So I'm coming back up, and I'm just going to catch all the deer hair and lift it vertically. And I'm going to tie a good few turns just in front of the wing, and that will have the effect of getting it to stand up vertically like that. Okay, now back down along just short of the bend, and this is the antron. This will go on to form, whether it's a tail or a trailing shuck, I think is more likely, because that's how it appears to me. So hopefully that's how the trout see it as well. I'm just tying that in there securely, and I'm going to cut it to approximately the same length as the hook shank. So now that's your wing and your trailing shuck or tail completed. Now next, you can see this is a box of dubbing. The dubbing I'm going to use for this one is a dark olive, and it has a sparkle through it. Now you can buy this. I actually make this myself. I have videos on, if you go back through my video, you'll see how I make this stuff. So there's a sparkle through. You can buy it like this as well, and if in a good fly shop you'll be able to find this kind of stuff. So the sparkle through the body, I think, is an imperative. So I'm going to put on a tapered body onto this. So I start out very thin just here, and then it gradually gets just that little bit thicker. So we have a tapered body which is consistent with the natural fly. Now it probably doesn't make that much difference, but aesthetically speaking it just looks better, at least for the human eye. So I'm tightening that dubbing on there. I'm going up tight behind the wing. Now I lift the wing again, and on I go in front of it. Now how much dubbing to use, again, experience will teach you how much to use. A good guideline is to put on a little less. It's easier to add a bit on than it is to take a bit off. So now I'm just whip finishing here, and essentially that's your sparkle done. You can tie that in a variety of sizes, a variety of different colours to match the local hatch. A good go-to is just olive, as I've done here. Just an olive, a light or dark olive seems to work every place. So that's the sparkle done. In my view, the best dry fly of all times. I have tried many patterns down through the years. Good flies like the Adams, which is a great fly, different type comparadons and all the rest of them. They all have their uses, but none of them have actually ever surpassed this as a fish catcher. Right folks, that was the sparkle done, tied up in a couple of minutes. I find that as well. Usually the more simple flies and the easier to tie they are, the better they work. And this fly, many thousands of trout can attest to the effectiveness or the veracity of this fly. It's like I said, it's the best dry fly I know of. I use it throughout the season in a variety of different sizes and colours. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button, which is important for me. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description to my Patreon page where any bit of support would be appreciated. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, consider subscribing. I make videos like this all the time, mainly about fly fishing. So, Shinna Willa Wimsa, Duntrasha, Kharja, that's it from me, my friends, for now. And Beme Chaintarish live on Keador, and I'll be talking to you again next time. Idrangalin, Slong of Oil.